Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to everybody who subscribes, who likes the video, who dings the bell for notifications. That helps these videos to keep coming up on the feeds. So I need to read a course on Steve Bannon. So he was finally arrested, him and I think 3 others, by a postal inspector for this campaign fundraising thing they had, or We Build the Wall kind of fund, and apparently precious little went to building any part of the wall with that, and Trump is acting like, well, who's that? I don't know. Well, yeah, Steve Bannon, yeah, but this was their thing. I thought it was showboating. It was, not my thing. So anyway, so I was watching Glenn Kirshner. He has some YouTube videos. He's been a guest on a lot of news commentary kinds of shows too. And he was saying, really, we could have a situation where all 4 of them are trying to beat down the courthouse door to offer information so that they get a better deal. So let's see. And it would be information on each other, but it would be information on Trump too, perhaps others. So, Spirit, what do we have going on here? In the heart of the matter, for Steve Bannon, justice. The justice, scales of justice. And a saying that's come to me frequently, and I think it's because Spirit brought it to me, is the wheels of justice move slowly but grind exceedingly fine. So people have been crying out for justice. People have been alarmed that some people seem to be above the law, immune to legal consequences. And anytime you have that many people crying out for something, needing something, that has power. That has power. So justice is obviously coming for Steve Bannon. All right. Underneath it all, we have the 4 of Swords. It sickens him. It sickens him. He's in retreat. He came out with this great big smile, acting, a lot of false bravado. But no, I knew that was fake. That was completely false. He is very worried. He's very worried. It actually sickens him. He's in retreat. He's not beating down the courthouse door, though, because he's trying to get his bearings still. What should I do? What should I do here? What kind of time could I serve? How could I get off with a slap on the wrist? And the answer to that question, I'm afraid, is no. So in the past, we have the Queen of Wands. You notice how all these things start kind of moving forward now that it really is looking like Biden is going to be our next president, with Kamala Harris beside him. The tide is turning, isn't it? And if that happens, there are going to be a whole bunch of people who want to be able to say, I didn't do Trump's bidding. I wasn't sucked in. I'm not corrupt. Not me. Not I. And isn't it strange how so many things that have been held up and held up and held up for months and years even, now we're hearing about them. Now all of a sudden things are moving forward. Now all of a sudden Trump has to respond to subpoenas. I find that very interesting. Above, we have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords, yeah. He's trapped in this. There is no way out. I feel like there's denial for him, and that was part of that big smile as he came out of court. But he is trapped in this. There is no way he can wiggle his way out. This will be slowly dawning on him in the coming days. Okay. Immediate future, right? Investigation. There's that King of Swords. Yes. So he will be testifying. We will see that. We'll see documents filed by his attorney and the prosecuting attorney. So yeah, this thing is moving forward. Root of the matter. The Lover's card. Who is he in bed with? In the political readings I do, that Lover's card has meant people in bed with other people. So who is he in bed with? That is the question. Certainly the others who've been arrested, but others beyond that as well. A lot of others beyond that. People who were aware of this scheme. We're going to ask after we're done with this Celtic cross what the fallout is for them. Immediate environment, environmental factors on him. We have the 6 of Swords. So this takes a while for him. Okay, so this will continue on past the election. It will take a while for him to, I feel like bad news after bad news after bad news is what it is. But calmer shores, what does that mean, Spirit? I'm going to clarify that one. The Strength card. Okay, so it does take a while, you guys. So that means expect there to be some things in the news like, you know, Bannon may have this going for him. He may be able to get by with that and this. No, he still has a lot to go through yet here. What's the outcome? Ace of Swords. There are still secrets then in the outcome. There are people, this means, who don't, he is protected for a while, for at least a while. By Bill Barr? Perhaps. Okay. Clarifier, but the government is working. There's the Hierophant. The government is working. I feel like sometimes there are measures that are taken to protect allies of Trump that are, they're just all, well, you know this, they're technical. Delay, you know, just appeal. And allies of Trump are given just so much leeway. So this will take a while, you guys. And then we have the 10 of Coins, money. He does have some friends with a lot of money. A lot of generational money. Mercers. Others. He's got friends in high places. That's why that big smile. But I do not feel like it is going to save him from all of it. I really don't. How soon before? Let's ask this. But yeah, don't expect it to happen quickly. But he has definitely done things that I feel like I almost hear his friends even saying to him, yeah, we can't get you out of all of it. You know, you're going to have to pay the consequences for something or things, more than one thing. We can't get you out of all of it. I almost hear that. It exposes them too much to being accused of corruption. Yeah. So I don't think he fares well with this. It takes some time, though. Yeah. Okay. So will he give up Trump? Let's ask that. Let's just ask it. Right now, how does it look? We have the King of Cups. Oh, but we have to remember there's Putin. All of those Russian connections he has as well. Okay. And that makes him a little afraid, I think. It makes him, you know, there's some, gosh, I didn't realize that. Even Steve Bannon is something of a front man. As much as he seems to have been the author of so much of this anti-government, almost anarchy kind of thinking, attacks on Western governments. So as much as he seems like he's been the author of a lot of that, it's not so. It's not so. He is something of a front man. So he's kind of afraid to give a lot of information up. The Magician. He's going to try to manipulate. He is going to try to play the game of, yes, I'm cooperating, but then he stretches it out, and, you know, maybe he doesn't give them what he promises he's going to give them, or he gives them part. That's what's going on now, though. That's the present. We do have the Temperance Angel. So he is going to try to be smart and wise with this as he learns more, about negotiations behind the scenes, who will protect him and how, who is a threat to him and how. So he is very clearly only concerned about his own skin, very clearly. But that's always been that way. But his question is, what is going to be best for Steve Bannon? And it'll take a little while for that to play out. Let's see about in the near future. New beginning. There we have the Fool. Clarify it. Four of Wands. Four of Wands. I feel like he's kind of foolish. I feel like he's foolish in how much he thinks the White House is going to help. They did step in at the last minute for Roger Stone, but they made him sweat it out. And I think they only stepped in because there was a conversation about what Stone knew and could still offer up. So I think he's foolish too. I think he's almost a bit fooled himself, because he is a master manipulator. However, he's in a desperate situation, and we already saw this has sickened him. He didn't think this was going to happen. So he's not in the strongest position. 8 of Coins. As he learns, he's the apprentice. See, again, he's not the front man, is he? He's trying to make it seem like he's cooperating quite a lot. But he's not. Knight of Cups. There's that manipulator. Yep. I have an offering. He's also going to tease them with, I could offer you this information, I could offer you that information. But then things are held up in court, and there's delays and extensions and things like that. I don't know. If I knew the legal jargon, I would know what I'm referring to here. But, things are held up as they have been. And there are some things that just do take time, even under the best circumstances. Let's see a little further out. Knight of Swords. Oh, yeah. He does get to the place where I'm not going down for this. Okay. Hermit. Isolation. He feels like he's been abandoned. Page of Cups. I think that's a little bit of good news, a little offering. So I do think he does end up giving information. He does. It takes a while. But sure, he does. And on Trump, well, I think we could be hopeful about that. Page of Swords reversed. He's going to be very deliberate about it, though. Even though he won't have all the answers about how is this going to play out, I feel like there comes a time when Trump is less powerful. It's after he's out of office. It's a bit of a feeding frenzy. Everybody's able to go after him. And at that point, I think Steve Bannon is not afraid of what Putin would do if he shared certain things. So I do think he gives up some information on Trump that implicates Trump. But I feel like Trump has so many other legal woes by then. Yeah, let's see what else we've got. Right. Because Democrats are in charge. And then, which side of his bread is buttered, Yeah, who does he need to please then? So, yeah, I do think eventually he gives up some information. Does he go to jail? I feel like yes. I hear right away. But there is a victory. But there is some consequence he's not wanting. He fights it for a long time. He's overburdened. There are just too many things he's done, essentially. That's what that's saying. Success, completion, the world. I don't feel like that means he's successful. I feel like that's a completion of the investigation, and that there is some consequence to be paid. Yeah, and it's a tower to him. Yeah. So there we go. Wow. It'll be unfolding for a while, but no, this is not good for Steve Bannon. He can act like he's going to get away with it all, but I don't think he is. Nope. The fact that he was arrested at all. That showed that the tide had turned, and the protections he thought he had are not nearly as strong as he thought. So, okay, let me ask, how is Trump doing with all this? What is he thinking? He was so nervous when he was like, yeah, acting like, oh, I don't know, that was something they were doing. I don't know. He was so nervous. His voice got high. He was just coming out of his skin. So I was like, yeah, you know a lot about this, actually. And he knows a lot about it. He gets nervous when it's situations like this, and he may have to testify somewhere or give a deposition somewhere, because he knows that he's not necessarily so bright when it comes to those things. So he can't figure this out, and he does feel his power slipping as Biden's poll numbers look so good. So for Trump, what is his view on this? He's worried about Putin too. He's worried about Putin also. Because Bannon and Putin, okay. And then we have the Fool, New Beginning. He thinks he's got a strategy already. Yep. He's in some denial. He thinks, okay, well, I can just do this. It'll be fine. But that's the way Trump reacts to all bad news. He hopes that by saying it and believing it, it brings it into being. In the immediate future, or future next few months, we have the Hope card. Okay, so he feels like his strategy will work, but there's that Justice card. There's that Justice card. He only can keep things at bay while he's in office, because justice is coming for him. It can't be denied. 10 of Wands, and there's so many things. Again, he's getting a lot of the same cards Bannon got. There are so many things that he could be charged with. Further out from that, we get the World card. Interesting. Completion. At some point, it's going to be time to wrap this whole thing up. Wrap up all these investigations. Charge out what needs to be charged out. Yeah, at some point, it's all going to come together. Yeah. I do feel like for some reason he gets some protection, like not absolutely everything is brought against him, but enough is. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else. We have the Four of Coins, but he does hang on for quite a while. So this is usually next few months. This is like 6 months out or so. Tarot, timing. 7 of Wands. So he does stand his ground for a while. So, which would make sense. If we saw Bannon doing that, we'll see Trump doing that. And especially while Trump is in office. But it doesn't look good ultimately. He's got the 9 of Coins. See, it's the money, the luxuries, the spending the money, the grifting. It is going to come back to him. So, there we have it. Well, I'm glad when Spirit lets us know that this is going to be a long and winding path, because then we're not discouraged when it is. But, yeah, the Justice card is coming for them. And there's not much else to say than that. Well, I thank you all so much. Yeah, again, with that Glenn Kirshner, I like his video so much. He says, I think it's the name of his show, because justice matters. So there we go. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.